about your part and about, although you are giving and giving, you probably gave too much without realizing, and you compromised your own system, which meant it was time for you to stop as well.
I did immediately. I left immediately. And I remember I asked my doctor, if I leave today, am I going to be okay? And she said, once the autoimmune is activated, then you will manage that, and means not be stressed in life. And I thought, oh my God, I didn't see it. I didn't see that coming. And especially when we are passionate, we are in a field of serving wounded souls. Psychology is not the field just to make money. If someone is there for that reason, it's not one. Education is another one. As dedicated teachers, it's like uh, nurturing the future generations. I can't think of anything more sacred than that. And because of that, many teachers stay because of the children. When the environment is not honoring the teacher and what they do, and maybe this is an opportunity for you to be the voice of many people who are who cannot let the paycheck go for in that moment.
And
So I'm inviting you to consider the divine message for you,
yeah,
that you may be the instrument of the divine to bring this message. Not everyone has the ability or motivation or patience of sitting down and writing it. For me, I stopped the clinical practice in order to sit down and write. I felt when I was with a client, that I had the honor to be one on one with someone who trusted me with their pain. Now I feel that if I'm able to write what I have learned from my own experiences and with the clinical experiences, if I can write that and make it available to other people, um, the books are affordable, they are available, you can borrow them from any library, then so many people would benefit from it if they choose to, um, that I may never see them, but then we are connected. And that's really important to me. If I'm not here tomorrow, the book will be there. uh, you mentioned something about legacy. Did you mention that? Oh, our
no,
writing
not
teacher
yet.
mentioned that. Our writing teacher, about a writer that writes with intention for legacy.
And
Imagine
what
that
do you mean?
tomorrow, if you and
Okay.
I are not here, the book is there, and other people can benefit from it.
Yes, yes. We are the messengers, I guess. um,
Go ahead.
Sorry, you mentioned this part of yourself about expressing your clinical work and also what can I say?
I have a visitor. There's a beautiful squirrel in our backyard,
Really?
and she or he is looking at me like, what are you doing here?
Ellie, now I have yard work going on. Can you hear it from your end? No, it's really loud. It's like we're taking turns with the yard work. You mentioned that you can share all your experience and knowledge of clinical work. Is that something that's in your book currently, or is that the future book?
The current book, Scars Left Behind, is 100% about my life. My journey And the events that I feel they impacted me in a significant way, one way or another. And even I have gone back to my conception based on what I have heard from my mother. Um, so it's only about my own life experience, and it's not the whole thing, it's a collection. However, while I do not speak about any specific client or someone's history, um, learning from other clients, survivors of trauma, has helped me significantly in terms of how do we develop a toolbox, how do we recognize the triggers, what kind of triggers, and do I have the toolbox to manage that? What works? What didn't work? Um, how can I build up on what's working for me as an individual? And then maybe making those tools available to other people to try. What works for me does not mean necessarily would work for you or someone
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
We are so different. We are very individual. Um, but this book, no, it's all about my own memoir.
Mm.
However, I have tried or made the intention to choose the events that I feel are universal.
Yes.
Like when we talk about family dysfunction, every family, has that to some extent. Like in my family, there was this thing about making fun of the kids in the family and laughing about it. I feel they were not aware of the impact of it, kind of ridicule, shame. And for me, it was my nose. My mother and the whole family was saying that your nose is so big that as soon as you turn 18, you have to have a nose job. And I was like maybe 8, 9 years old.
Oh no,
And
that's such an
the
awful.
impact of it was that I felt I was ugly. That when I would look in the mirror, all I see is the nose, and there was nothing I could do about it. And as a child, I understood from them that they will saw the nose bone, this bone. And in my image, the saw was for the wood, for the trees. And I was terrified by this image of, sewing my nose to make it smaller and make it pretty.
Wow.
And I never ever thought that I would say, no, I don't want that. I thought whatever the adults will tell me, I have to do it. Uh, Basically, I felt that I didn't have any core of who I am. I felt that the people around me defined who I am. For a young child, the parents or the people are like the mirror. They say we learn about who we are by the way we are treated by those significant people. And I shared with you that I was raised by a traumatized, severely traumatized mother. So if that was her perception or the way she related to the universe, that appearances is everything, that especially for a girl, beauty is her worth. She wanted to be beautiful, and she spent a lot of time on her appearances and wanted me to be beautiful, to be worthy, to attract attention, and saw the nose, and it was like, that needs to be fixed. like there is something wrong. And the thing is that when we are very young, um, even when we make a mistake, the child doesn't think that I made a mistake. It's likely to think that I am the mistake,
Mm.
because the adults can't be wrong. You know, they are big, they are godlike, like they're supposed to be whole and complete. So if something is wrong, something is not okay, it must be me, because I'm little. I don't know anything. I have no knowledge of anything. I'm not worthy yet, but they are. They're big. So, like that impacted my life severely. And I remember when I was in high school, I had a very, very dear friend. I'm still in touch with her from seventh grade, seventh, eighth grade. And one time I pulled all my courage together, you know, and I said, I want to ask you something. I'm really embarrassed. Promise you don't laugh at me, but I want to really ask you something. And she was like, what? What is it? And I said, you know, my family is telling me that my nose is so big and I have to get an operation, get a nose job. I just wondered, what do you think? And she went, what? Are you joking me? Are you, you know? I said, no, that's very serious. I'm very bothered by that. And she looked at me and said, look at me. Promise me. Promise me you're not going to touch your nose. You're beautiful. You're beautiful, and your nose is so beautiful. Promise me you're not going to do anything. And it took only one person for me, just one person. And I knew she was sincere. She wasn't, you know, kind of trying to make me feel good. And
How
she
old were
couldn't
you?
believe it. She couldn't believe that my whole family, they would sing a song. It's actually a beautiful song, but it was like, your nose is so big that they can put a mattress on it and you can sleep on it.
Wow.
Ouch.
Yes.
And
So,
I hated that song, and everyone would sing it.
and laugh at
Everyone would
you.
sing it together.
Oh, wow.
And it wasn't just me, everyone. All the children in the family, they would pick up something and, you know, do that. Um, like one of the children had bedwetting problem.
Mm.
So, you know, everyone was singing that the next day the mattress was up, you know, in the sun and washing and stuff, shaming the child, basically.
Wow.
Um,
What a paradox that you take such a beautiful song and you put all these words to like shame people. But I'm sorry, going back to your friend, how old were you when you told her this?
I think we were in seventh or eighth grade. She became my best friend in high school. And we were, it's amazing that even one friend, I mean, we had a beautiful circle of friends. It was all girls school. So there was like 7, 8 of us that we were in a group. But in that group, the two of us were the closest. Her name is Heide, and she lives in Florida, and we are in touch. We are still in touch. And every time I talk to her, I remind her what a gift she gave me.
That's wonderful. And your family didn't bring it up when you got close to 18, did they?
By the time I became 18, I had more autonomy and more self on my sense, and I knew I didn't want to do it. But as a child, I was so vulnerable and basically intimidated that I thought I have to do what they tell me.
Mm.
No, I didn't do it.
Good. Good to hear.
Yeah, a dear friend, when they heard the story, they said, did you get the did you get the nose job? I said, no.
Yeah.
But my sister did.